Are you looking for more appropriate solutions to improve the efficiency of your retail, logistics, warehousing, or catering business? From thermal label printers to shipping scales, we sell a variety of products to do just that. Munbin, more choice for your growing business. Visit munbin.com.
We know anxiety doesn't work 9 to 5, so anyone can text Shout anytime. But being there 24/7 takes funding. Click to donate and join the thumb war for mental health.
Cherry Printers are an established printing company that produce quality products at sensible prices. From cash receipts and invoice books to GDPR-compliant, confidential visitor sign-in books, they have it all. For more information, visit cherryprinters.co.uk. Unboxed. Proudly sponsored by Cherry Printers.
Staying safe online. It's not always easy to know what's safe online and what's not. In this episode, I'll be giving you advice that can help you to keep safe and to know what to do when things go wrong. You are listening to Unboxed with an episode about staying safe online.
Unboxed
with Finley Ratnet.
Finley Ratnet.
Finley!
Yes, welcome back to Unboxed, a mental health podcast for young people. A couple of things have happened since the last episode. I mean, I was on BBC Radio Jersey, not once, but twice. That was absolutely amazing. You can listen back to the interview I did on BBC Radio Jersey and Guernsey. They're both in the Channel Islands, so they sort of share the same output in a way. But you can listen back to that at unboxedpodcast.org. Both those are on the homepage of the website. Now, there are lots of fun and interesting things you can do on the internet. Let's not lie, there are. And it can be a great way to stay in touch with friends. But it is important to understand how to stay safe online. Sometimes people will try to trick you into clicking dangerous links or sharing things about yourself. Or something you've shared might be used to bully or even frighten you. Now, I'm going to go straight in with 5 ways that you can get support if things do go wrong. Number 1 is talking to someone you can trust. I mean, that tip, it's got to be number 1 because I could do an episode about anything. But any tips I give, number 1, I guarantee you, 90% of the time, it's probably going to be talk to someone you trust. That can be an adult, or, you know, a helpline, or, you know, something like Childline, or even a teacher, or a friend, or a peer, someone else in school you can trust. So that's the main one. Talk to someone you trust, let them know what's wrong, and see if you can get help with it that way. Number 2, report bullying and abuse directly to the website or app. I mean, social media sites aren't amazing at this, but if bullying and abuse is happening, I mean, TikTok is pretty good at it, and Instagram. But they're the main sort of 2, aren't they then? But if you are being bullied or something, being abused on social media, you can report, you know, comments or messages directly to the app, and you know, the other person can be sort of punished for it. Not you know, I don't mean arrested or anything, but, you know, they can have, you know, their social media account can be impacted, you know, and be blocked, or, you know, certain things can be put in place to prevent that from happening in the future. Number 3, delete things you've shared that you're worried about, or find ways to hide them. Lots of sites have, you know, well, every social media platform has the option to delete things. But then again, once you've shared something, it can stay out there. If you type my name in on Google, lots of images come out. I'm not, you know, they're all good images. A lot of them are, you know, they're sort of, they went with a post or something that I put out about, you know, just plugging my radio show on my podcast. So not bad images. What I'm saying is, once you put something out there on social media, it goes onto Google, and yeah, so on and so forth. So I guess in that case, just think about what you're putting online before you actually go to post it. But then if you do post something and wish you hadn't, delete it. And if it is anywhere else, then try and do the same on those sites. Number 4, tell the police. You can make a report to something called the CEOP, which is a National Crime Agency command, and basically you can to tell them or make that report to the CEOP if someone is threatening or blackmailing you, and they should be able to support you with that. And number 5, plan for the future and change your privacy settings so it doesn't happen again. A lot of young people, well, the majority of young people I know, friends and whatever, a lot of them have their social media accounts set as private. I think my personal Instagram is, but then when I got things like my podcast, my radio, sort of Instagram, those things are on public, just because, you know, it's not personal stuff. I'm plugging my radio show, my podcast, so there's no real reason for me to have it on private. But my personal accounts are Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. Well, you can't have a public Snapchat, really. You can have a public profile, but yeah, anyway. So more tips to stay safe online. Think before you post. Like I said, don't upload or share anything you wouldn't want your parents, carers, teachers or future employers seeing. That's a really important one, because, you know, when you're being hired by a company, quite a few companies will search you online to see what they can find. It's not that they're being nosy, they just want to see that the kind of person they are employing, see if you come across professional. But once you post something, you lose control of it, like I said, especially if someone else screenshots or shares it, because you can delete it, but if someone screenshots it, then they've taken a screen grab of their screens, whatever's on their screen at that time, they've saved. Don't share personal details. Keep things like your address, phone number, full name, school and date of birth private, and check what people can see in your privacy settings. Remember that people can use small clues like a school logo and a photo to find out a lot about you, so posting photos in your school uniform, not the best idea. Another one, watch out for phishing and scams. Phishing is when someone tries to trick you into giving them information like your password. Someone might also try to trick you by saying they can make you famous or that they're from a talent agency. Never click links from emails or messages that ask you to log in or share your details, even if you think they might be genuine. If you're asked to log into a website, go to the app or site directly instead. Make sure you're on the actual, genuine, official website for whatever that is. I mean, something that a lot of scammers are doing at the moment is sort of sending links through Instagram. And it can come from an account that you follow. Obviously, that account has been hacked, and then this person's meshing you through that account, so you think it's that person. And they'll send you a link. It could be to say, watch this video. Press the link. After pressing that link, you give that person access to your Instagram, and they'll do the same to your account. And then they'll send a link from your account to someone else, and they'll click the link and they'll get access to that account. It goes on and on, really. Another one, think about who you're talking to. There are lots of ways that people try to trick you into trusting them online. Even if you like and trust someone you've met online, never share personal information with them, like your address, full name, or where you go to school. Keep your device secure. Make sure that you're keeping your information and device secure. Passwords. Don't use the same password for everything, because if someone finds out one password for one thing, if your password is the same on everything, they've got your password for everything. Then you're in a bit of a sticky situation. Another one, never give out your password. Obviously, you should never give out your passwords or login information. Make sure you pick a strong, easy to remember password. Another one, cover your webcam. Some viruses will let someone access your webcam without you knowing, so make sure you cover your webcam whenever you're not using it. You can get these little things you can buy these little things that, if you've got a laptop, it sticks on the camera and it just sort of slides over the camera when you're not using it. But if you're using a PC, like me, and you've got like a USB webcam, whenever I wasn't using it, and to be honest, the only time I did use it is when I'm doing interviews and things. But when you're not using it, just unplug it, pull out the USB port, use the front one, the front USB port, so you don't have to climb behind it to pull it out. Just use the front one, stick it in when you're going to use it, and then pull it out when you're not. And having your social media account hacked or finding out someone has stolen your data can be scary and upsetting, but there are easy steps you can take to keep yourself safe. Like I said, use strong passwords. A strong password means that it's hard for someone else to guess or for a computer to crack. Some people use password managers to store all their passwords, but these can cost money and aren't always secure, so you need to be careful. There's a few tips for creating a strong password. Make your password more than 8 characters and use a mix of lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and special characters. I know it's always annoying when you go to enter a password and it says, sorry, you can't use this password, it's not strong enough. So you go back and you add in what it wants. Sorry, you can't use this password, it's not strong enough. But trust me, get it right and you avoid any potential harm to whatever that password is for. Don't use personal details. People might be able to guess your favourite animal, your birthday, or your best friend's name. Try using 3 to 4 random words that you can remember instead. I guess that's with sort of security questions and things. And use different passwords. Like I said, change your password regularly and use completely different passwords for different websites and apps. And I'm sure you've also heard of something called two-factor authentication. It comes up everywhere when you log into something. Do you want to enable two-factor authentication? What is that, you ask? Well, two-factor authentication adds another layer of security to your password by asking for another piece of information. For example, you might need to enter your password and then enter a code you're sent via a text message. It's much more secure as passwords can be guessed or cracked. Lots of apps and sites let you use two-factor authentication, and you should choose to use it whenever you can. And device and app updates include important security fixes, so it's good to make sure you regularly download updates for your phone, tablet, laptop, computer, as well as apps, games, and also wearables as well. That's something you might not think about, fitness trackers, smartwatches, and also smart devices like, smart speakers like Alexa or Google Home. And each device is different, but you can usually find out how to enable updates in the settings. It's also important to use antivirus software. You can get antivirus software for mobiles as well as tablets, laptops and PCs. Make sure that you keep it updated as well, or ask an adult to help you.
A mental health podcast for young people.
Unboxed
With Finley Ratnet.
Now, it's fair to say that social media can make us feel anxious, sad, or overwhelmed sometimes. If you don't feel good when you're using social media platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr, and the list goes on really, I've got some advice that can help you with that. Now, get help if you see something upsetting. Sometimes people might post things online that you find upsetting or disturbing. Social media is a big place. There's a whole new world out there on that digital. There's a whole new digital world out there. Now, if you've seen something that you're worried about, you don't have to cope alone. It can help to report it to the platform or website, especially if it involves violence or abuse. Like I said, TikTok are really good at that. Instagram quite good at that. If you see something, just press usually it's like 3 dots and then press report. Ask you for the reason, just so they can sort of better understand why you've reported that. And if it has violated the community guidelines of that social media platform, they will take action and they will remove that post. Avoid sharing or commenting on it, even if you want to say you disagree. Talk about what you've seen with an adult you trust. But remember, not everything you see online will be real. But if you're not sure, it's always okay to ask for some support. And some accounts can put pressure on you to reach impossible standards or are paid to advertise things to you. Try unfollowing or muting accounts that make you feel bad about yourself, or search for accounts with content that will make you smile or feel good without feeling like you have to change. And again, remember that what you see isn't always real. People don't always show what their lives are really like on social media. Photos can be staged, airbrushed or filtered, and people only show the parts they want others to see. And forget about likes. It can feel important to know how many people have liked or commented on something you've posted, but focusing on it can leave you feeling like you're not good enough. Remember that likes aren't everything, and there are always other ways to build your confidence. And make sure you're being nice to other people. Try posting positive comments to others and not responding to negative comments. Blocking and reporting bullying or abuse when you see it can help you to feel better. And decide when you want notifications. That's something that people, if I can talk, people don't really take much notice of. You download an app, you log in, and that's it. But checking for comments or messages can be stressful sometimes, or you might feel pressure to keep up with what's happening online. If you're in bed or want to focus on something else, try turning off notifications or setting your phone on mute or do not disturb. And stop scrolling and do something else for a while. When looking at social media isn't making you feel good, taking a break and doing something to keep yourself busy can really help. You could try listening to music or a podcast, like Unboxed, going for a walk or playing a game. Now, obviously, lots of people use social media or online tools to help them cope with how they feel. Some young people find it easier talking online to people they've not met in person, or they might meet someone online who's going through the same thing as them. But it is important to think about whether the people you're talking to are helping you to feel better. If you're not sure, ask yourself whether talking to them makes you feel like things will never change. It stops you getting support or talking to other people, only gives you one point of view and stop other people from sharing theirs, pushes you to do things that might hurt you, makes you feel competitive about what's happening, leaves you feeling worse and after talking. And if you're not sure whether talking online is making things in your life better, there are lots of other ways to get support as well.
Finley Ratness.
Unboxed.
Now, if you or someone you know is being bullied, there are things you can do to get support with that. Now, obviously, bullying and cyberbullying can mean lots of different things. It can happen anywhere, including online, at school, or at home. And bullying can include being called names, being teased or humiliated, posting, commenting or liking nasty photos, videos, or posts about you online, as well as sort of physical things like being pushed, hit, or hurt. Obviously, having money and other stuff. So there are loads of different things that can come under the category of bullying. Now, obviously, if someone's harassing you or bullying you online, you can report it to the site or the app, like I've said a few times throughout this. Even if someone else has reported it, making a report yourself can make it more likely the content will be removed. Don't reply to abusive messages or posts, as this can make things worse. And keep evidence, keep a diary of what's happening and when, and take screenshots of online messages. This can help you prove what's been happening. And tell someone at school, or tell someone you can trust. If you're being bullied by people at school, your school has a responsibility to support you. They have a duty of care. If you have screenshots or evidence of what's happening, show them to a teacher you trust, and they should be able to support you with that. Practice being assertive. Now, being assertive, as I've said in another episode, it means standing up for yourself without being aggressive. It can help you feel more confident and in control when someone's bullying you. And get support from someone you trust. Again, that keeps coming back up because it's such an important piece of advice. You don't have to cope with bullying alone. Talking to an adult you can trust can help you to find ways to stop the bullying. And take a break from checking messages. It's natural to want to see what people are saying when they're bullying you, but taking time away from your phone or device, even for a few minutes, just if you're on your phone just scrolling through, put it down. Have a few minute break, get a drink, and then go back to it if you feel like you want to. And that can help you to feel calmer as well. Now, most bullying isn't against the law, but you may be able to talk to the police if someone commits a crime against you, including being violent or physically assaulting you, sexually assaulting you, stealing things from you, bullying you because of your race, gender, or sexual identity, or if you have a disability. This is a hate crime. Sharing or threatening to share a naked image of you without your permission is also a crime, which you can talk to the police about. Now, bullying can have a big impact on how you feel. Even if it stops, it can take time to feel better. Now, I'm going to finish with a few things that you can do to cope. Obviously, talking about it, that's the main one of the main things that keep coming back up. It will come up in every single episode because, again, it's such an important piece of information. Talking could be, it could really impact how things go on in the future. Again, it's important to take your mind off what's happening, and as that can help you have more energy to cope when things are difficult. Do something you enjoy, whether that's playing a game, reading a book, or spending time with a friend, or even on a hobby. Take a break from checking your messages, go for a walk, and distract yourself. If you're struggling with your feelings, try moving away from anything that might distract you and take a few deep breaths. Focus on what's around you and name, you can name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch or feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. Do that, and that you can use that as a distraction. It's also important to let your feelings out. Bottling up your feelings can make them hard to cope with. So be creative, write it down, listen to some music, talk to someone, write a poem, make a comic book, keep a diary. There's so many creative things that you can do to let your feelings out. And making sure you have a healthy routine and taking care of yourself can also have a big impact on your mental health. Having healthy routines include making sure you get enough sleep, eating healthily, not having too much junk food, doing something every day that makes you feel good or proud, spending time with people who make you happy, and exercising or spending time outside. Exercising is another really good piece of advice. Go out and, even if that's for a 10-minute walk each day. Exercise is not only good for your physical health, but it's really good for your mental health too. But your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and if you're worried about it, it is important to get support. You can talk to your doctor about anything you might be feeling, big or small. If you're not sure where to start, you can use sites like DocReady to help make a list of your symptoms. And lots of young people, have sort of suicidal thoughts, or maybe they want to self-harm. And if you are feeling this way, it's good to tell your doctor, or you can talk to, places like Childline or other crisis support lines that can, give you some advice or, get to the bottom of why you are using these things as coping mechanisms. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode. I hope you got something out of it. But again, as I'll say for each episode, the most important advice I want you to take away from this is to talk to someone. Whatever's going on, big or small, talking to someone, like I said, can impact how things go on in the future. You might be really struggling, but one conversation with someone, even if that's just for 2 minutes, getting your feelings out there is good enough. But if the other person is able to support you, then, awesome. But thank you very much for listening to this episode of Unboxed, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
A mental health podcast for young people.
Unboxed.
With Finley Ratnett.
Finley Ratnett.
Finley!